My name is Richard Moore. I'm from Drogheda. I was born and bred here. My father had a big interest in fishing and shooting and sailing, so we go out quite a lot. So I'd spend a lot of time in the countryside or out at sea. So I was sort of immersed in nature from the very earliest start. How the painting came about would be an interesting colour things, like say I would pick up on the yellow dandelions, colours like that. The colour would strike me as being interesting or nice, you know. And if you caught a fish, I would spend more time looking at the colours on the rainbow trout. The pheasants, if you shot a pheasant, the feathers would be amazing. So at an early age, it was colour that I was interested in, but I didn't realise that till a few years ago. I was in 5th year before somebody introduced me to another artist who was called Danny O'Mahony. He had a studio here in town, and my sister then brought me over to his studio. When I went into the studio, I was amazed at all the paintings and the smell of oil paint, and it was just, yeah, this is something I really like, you know. Because otherwise, before that, I didn't know what an artist did or who they were. If it was even a job. You know? So this was very attractive, and I was always interested in drawing or using a pencil or paint. So. Well, the early influences would have been my parents, because they would have encouraged the art. I wasn't much good at anything else. At school, I was no academic. In fact, I failed art in the leaving cert, so I had to go back and do it again. So I was quite determined I was going to be an artist, regardless of what happened, because it felt it in me that was my nature. Danny O'Mahony then would have been had set the ground, if you like. And then I got into art college, into Waterford Art College. When Paul Funge, the other painter, he was head of the art school at the time. So that was 1976, 77. He took me in because he could see there was a potential in my work. So thank God, because I wasn't getting in anywhere else. But so we became good friends after that. I used to visit him in Dublin, and we talk about the art. And he actually had his first retrospective exhibition in this gallery. So yeah, there was a good show there. You had busloads of people coming down from Dublin. It was great. He was quite an influence. He was very encouraging. That's very important. And then after college, I'd come home and I was painting away. Now, I hadn't really been going outdoors that much. I was trying different things that I was doing in college, and then I remembered I'd like to try some outdoor painting. So I went out one day and I haven't stopped since. So that was 1980, 79. So it was just when I went out and I came back after doing that first painting. It was just grass and it was the different colours in the grass, like the cream and the green and the little landscape around us. And when I came back and I looked at it, I said, God, that's an original painting. It's not from a photograph. It's here where I live, and it's a place that's never been painted before, and it's completely new to me. I really enjoyed that buzz of doing something completely new. So I started to explore the landscape around after that. And then I met up with Raphael Hines. He was in college in NCAD at the time, and a mutual friend brought him down to my studio, so we started to paint together. And we'd go out to the landscape, have great crack. You know, when we come back to the studio, we say, how did you get that colour? Yeah, what made you pick that composition? Yeah. All these questions, and it was quite strong. You really had to stand up for why you were doing something, which was great because it made you stronger in your belief that what you were doing was right, or at least you were going in the right direction. And if you weren't, you corrected your way of doing things. So yeah, it was a great learning process, absolutely brilliant. Well, that first painting, I was walking up near it's called Calvary Cemetery. It's just up the road from me. So I was walking around looking for something to paint, and I haven't noticed this about the grass before. It was a nice bright cream section with the new growth of grass beside it, and it was that combination with the background. So I more or less focused mostly on the grass and a little bit of the landscape in the background. So that was an interesting thing. So then the next couple of paintings, I noticed that there were more colours in the grass that I hadn't seen before. So that was surprising. So every time I went out, I was seeing something new, which was the landscape became richer and richer, and the whole process of enjoying a full day in the landscape was getting more and more like heaven, I suppose. It was just everything was so rich in colour, and the changing of the seasons sort of even made it even more amazing, because what was once nice bright green fields was now these lovely earthy browns and pools of water in the middle. It was just this contrast constantly changing, and I couldn't stop. It was just an amazing experience. It can come and go. About 20 years ago, I came to a complete stop. I didn't stop painting, but the brain stopped, if you like. What happened was I got a flu, took some antibiotics, recovered, but it was like if somebody came along, love of painting, and just take it out. It was completely gone. I could look at the most magnificent paintings in the world and not feel a thing. Whereas before I would be excited about it, oh wow, but this thing was completely gone. I didn't know what was wrong. So I kept at it. I kept painting, even though it was like I had no interest. I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't trained for anything else. It was sort of keep going. And so one day I was painting a stream. It's called a mattock stream near Louth, and I was only up to my ankles in it, but it was a nice scene, and I painted away. And then after about a week, it all came back. Just like that. It was just as if I would put it back in again. I don't know what happened or how it happened, but I tell you, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. When you're not doing it, it's difficult to get back. It can come and go. You see, it can go just like that. So I don't think about it too much. I just sort of say, if I can get into a nice place or into an area where I'm happy and comfortable and walk around, and before long I'm going to see something. It's going to, oh yeah, I like that. It could be it could be anything. It doesn't matter, I'll just paint it anyway. Like, you're walking through the fields and I've been painting haystacks, that's great, and then, oh, there's a scarecrow. He looks hard, sure, look at it, sure, have a go, I'm not thinking about who's going to buy it or anything, because it's not important. The important thing is to respond to what nature is saying. If I can hear it speak to me, we'll take it down. Well, I was basically trained in oil painting. I like the oil painting. I got to know how to use them and mix them, but every time you bring a new colour in, it kind of messes things up. You have to sort of learn how to, just for that one colour. But that's all more fun, The acrylics, I I started using them in 2000 extensively, but it took me 2.5 years to get used to mixing the paint. Like I was saying, it was like getting into a car with loose steering. You know, you put in a colour and go way off that way, and another colour not enough, and it was great. It was great fun, but eventually got them to. I can't tell the difference sometimes now whether it's an oil painting I've done or an acrylic. So I'm happy that I could do that now. You know, but the main reason for going into acrylics was I wanted to paint at night time, and I didn't want the glare of the oil paint affecting the paintings of the stars I was doing, because any light was reflecting on the dark surface and oil paint, whereas in the acrylics there's none of that. So when I got the acrylics painting done at night time, they looked as though you were looking at a nighttime painting. So that was, and then I love Japanese and Chinese paintings, absolutely love them, and I love the way they leave so much empty space, but that's where all the energy is in that. So it's not important to fill in everything on a canvas for me. So I like some of the paintings that are unfinished, because you can see the energy, just like the Chinese paintings. So that got me interested in using Chinese inks and Chinese brushes as well. Beautiful. I love the bamboo. Just everything about them is lovely. And then the way they hold the brush is different to what the way we hold it. So they hold it with the 2 fingers and the thumb, and it's almost like Tai Chi with a brush. So when I'm painting, you kind of stand with the legs apart and sort of, you know, it's almost like that. It's lovely. It's lovely. And then the pencil drawings, I love drawings. The first time we were shown how to draw was they got the model to walk around the room, and they'd stop for about 5 seconds and then 10 seconds and so on. So you had to draw really fast. The first time we did it, they let us draw the model for an hour, and I got the head done. Like we were supposed to draw the whole figure, but I only got the head done. So the next thing then was, we give you 15 minutes now to draw the full figure. Oh, help. So by the time we were down to 5 seconds, by the time we were doing the 5 seconds, we could draw a full figure in the 5 seconds. So it was just the way you were trained. It trained us really well. That was in Waterford now, under Confe. Yeah, that was. So I couldn't stop drawing after that. It was just lovely to go out and sketch. And if anyone sat still for a couple of seconds, you know, it was 24 hours a day. No TV, just pencil and paper. Great. The Man de Dowd, I did that in 2002 or thereabouts, and it was a lovely summer's day, so I was trying the acrylics at the time. And the Man de Dowd was just the light on it that particular day was nice, and the grass had died off, and it was that cream colour. So it was, against the blue, it was just striking at the time. It was, 1985. I do a lot of portraits. The reason I do self-portraits is I can't get anyone else to sit for me. So just to keep my hand in on facial, painting, I use myself. So the model's always ready when I am. Mm-hmm. So. Mm-hmm. Make plenty of mistakes, because you're not going to learn anything if you don't make them. Like the line goes this way, no, I think it's that way, no, there you go. If you didn't make the first 2 mistakes, you wouldn't have got it right. So make mistakes is the only way to learn. I don't really have any wish I've been told anything. I think I got what I needed when I needed it. I believe we're guided anyway, so bad things happen, but actually it turns out later on it is a learning curve how to deal with certain things. So I don't want to change anything.